And we continue to acknowledge our members of parliament, honorable members of parliament, our government ministers and permanent secretaries who are already here in the VIP tents as they join us watching the march this morning. We acknowledge the Fiji Naval Force Band. Ladies and gentlemen, we say Bula Vinaka to the Fiji Bureau of Statistics. Yes, they come in now, breaking the cycle, using data to end gender violence and drug abuse. Minakapakalevu Fiji Bureau of Statistics. Yes, following the Fiji Bureau of Statistics, we welcome into the Albert Park the Ministry of Civil Service and Public Enterprises. Bulawinaka Ministry of Civil Service and Public Enterprises, welcome to Albert Park as we celebrate Civil Service Day Celebration 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the most important ministry looking after education in the country, the Ministry of Education. Belum nak tabah lagi ni vuli, totok nak kalbata. Come on, Ministry of Education, make some noise. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome into Albert Park the Ministry of Housing. And a big bulawinaka to the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways. Yes, to all the students who are just coming in and sitting here at the pavilion, welcome here at Albert Park for the Civil Service Day Celebration 2025. Bulawinaka, Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways. Agriculture and Waterways, welcome to Albert Park. Ladies and gentlemen, they are emphasizing to say no to the exporting and what? Exporting of kawakawa and donu. You should know. Let's make welcome the Ministry of Fisheries. Yes, the Ministry of Fisheries are also reminding us that from June through September, it is the law. You say no to collecting or selling or exporting kawakawa and dono. Bulminaka, the Ministry of Fisheries. Forestry and Fisheries, my bad. Forgive me for that. Bulminaka, and welcome to the Civil Service Day Celebration 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we say Mbulavinaka, and a Civil Service Day greeting to the Ministry of Trade, Cooperation, Trade, Cooperative, Small and Medium Enterprises and Communications. Welcome to the Civil Service Day Celebration 2025. And the Suva Mbulavinaka to the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. And I can see some sugar cane there, and it must be the Ministry of Multi-Ethnic Affairs and the Sugar Industry. Bulunaka to the Ministry of Multi-Ethnic Affairs and the Sugar Industry. Welcome to Albert Park. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we greet the Ministry of Local Government. It's the Civil Service Day 2025 as the respective ministries come into Albert Park this morning and we acknowledge the effort and the initiatives of the respective ministries, and we make welcome the Ministry of Public Works, Meteorological Services, Resources, making yourself known as the Albert Park this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the doctors, the nurses, and the medical workers, we welcome to the Civil Service Day here at Albert, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services. Sambulo binangan at tambatakatakan nimbula. Welcome to Albert Park. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yes, last but not the least, this morning. Ladies, yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, uh, we welcome the Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, as they enter Albert Park this morning. And we would like to thank you all for participating in the march here to Albert Park. And at this point in time, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our chief guest, the acting Prime Minister and acting Minister for Civil Service, Honorable and acting Minister for Civil Service, the Honorable Mr. Viliame Gavoka. We will now begin with the flags raising ceremony, proudly led by the Fiji Naval Force. Following this, we will join the singing of the national anthem. May I ask everyone to please remain upstanding as we observe this. Lebu, you may take your seats. While you remain upstanding. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on this year's theme and the important role we play in building the resilient, inclusive, and safe public, so let us center ourselves spiritually. I now invite the Reverend Marika Mbale of the Pacifica Community University to lead us in devotion. Let us before the Lord.
for your presence. Bring you your hands. For your spirit to lead us as we reflect on your words this morning. We offer this prayer in the mighty name of Jesus. Warm Christian greetings. The Civil Service in Fiji. Two Bible texts. The first one, 10, verse 42 to 45. It says, you know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. But not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a... And comes from Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It says, I am sending you out like sheep among wolves, as rude as pigs and as innocent as doves. Other translations says, be wise as snakes and harmless as doves. Those are the words that Jesus gave to his disciples to encourage them in the hope that they can continue the service that he had begun for them. Service for humanity and the whole world. But I've chosen to view this text, Jesus' words, from the Fijian Itauke perspective. And I would like to have a very short reflection on relative in your neighborhood or in your work area. The same expressions stress the idea of thinking and being mindful of others, particularly the least. By saying the least, I mean the powerless, the defenseless, the weak, children, young children, women, men, elders, who are often underprivileged and marginalized. It is not just seeing or looking, but it also involves thinking and being considerate of the least. Also, by saying the least, I also refer to people, not to people, I'm not referring to people alone, but also referring to environment, cultures, knowledge, faith, traditions, voices and stories that are often displaced and undervalued by mainstream philosophies and ways of being and thinking. The text that we heard this morning, particularly Mark chapter 10, from Mark chapter 10, the words just demonstrate Jesus' own approach and method of service in how he foregrounds and prioritize people, and in particular the least in societies. One can argue that his manifesto was people first. He was inspired and moved by the spirit that is overflow with Loloma, PR, Hanis. What underpinned his service was his extreme love for humanity, for the people to be saved, to be healed, and to be fed. His service was not driven by some sort of imperial and religious agenda or system. However, his main purpose was to restore lives and give people hope. He does not have much resources, but he used what he has. That is love, wisdom, and humility. He navigated his ministry of service with wisdom and humility to challenge and overturn exploitative and oppressive imperial and religious systems of the day. A fine display of his wisdom and humility was given in John chapter 8, when he stood up to defend a powerless and helpless woman exposed to systemic injustices and oppression. It is also shown in Matthew chapter 14, when a large crowd followed Jesus to a very isolated place, and it's becoming dark. The option that the disciples gave Jesus was for him to send them away and for them to look for something to eat for themselves. But Jesus' thinking was different. He told them, it is not good to send them away, but you need to give them something. What do you have with you? Those actions implies his resilience and self-determination towards the restoration of the people. Give hope to the people, not only to the people of humanity, but to the whole creation, or the whole of life. Today, as we celebrate Civil Service Day, I invite us to pause, to take a pause, and reflect on two simple thoughts. One is that in serving our people and our country, we are following the path that Jesus and his disciples took. We are reenacting and reliving the service of the great servant, Jesus Christ, who has been so gracious to us for all these years, giving us opportunity to education, giving us opportunity to work and to serve the people and the living. But today, I humbly extending a plea to us to think of the great servant himself, Jesus Christ. The second one is to let us open ourselves to him, to fill us with the spirit of love, wisdom, and humility. We need him. We needed the spirit that was with him when he served the people while living on earth. And let those principles guide us in leading our people and environment to freedom from new forms of colonization, systemic and structural injustices, oppression, rather than being enslaved by those systems and structures and agents of those structures and systems. Let us pray. I will be praying in Fijian. Sabi na ka na singan dahi, imam isamar no taka, non rambula, lelewi biti, era suliatu na non rambula, kina non rangona, era ngarap na bunonggo. Kaya mata-mata, era level 2 ni bunonggo. Bila bata na yung baki, ni non rambulo, so nang ngauna, kumimisinan ni Rayla, nandrende era sutaba, kaya lang di rumah. Mamisindro nga na nanri talanoa. Ki mamisengan ibakila. Abikan duindui. Aralang rumah. Sama takatali indai. Uni sabak kalau ngatatakan ng kelonggo. Eratu daga kinanalugan ni. Nawakamani. Au masuk ke mani nakalole la malang ke burbura. Moni bakal ngatakira tali. Na singa indai. Uni lumuti tali kasile bera na lumni. Era temana na alo marutaka. Kina alo nilo lama. Abengarabi kuni kadibirkin. I commend the life of your people here. That you anoint them and fill them with your spirit this day, that they may continue to serve the country and the people with love, wisdom, and humility. Bless this day. Bless our honorable chief guest, cabinet ministers, and the whole family of civil servants in Fiji. This is our prayer we offer to you in no other name but in the loving and precious name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, the Reverend Mari Kambale of the Pacifica Community University, formerly known as the Pacific Theological College, for those powerful words of inspiration and grounding. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to officially welcome and introduce our chief guest this morning, I now invite the Acting Permanent Secretary for Civil Service, Mr. Samuel Amode, to do the honors.
Honorable MC, Acting Prime Minister, Honorable Viliame Gavoka, the Chair of the Public Service Commission, Mr. Luke Rogobanda, Turani Taltala, the members of Parliament, Cabinet, Diplomatic Corps, and fellow civil servants. It's my humble duty this morning to welcome and introduce our chief guest, Sir Nimbul Winangsak. Welcome to today's proceedings. Our chief guest, the Honorable Viliame Gavoka, is currently the Acting Prime Minister and Acting Minister for Civil Service, as well as the Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation. Honorable Gavoka has over 30 years of illustrious experience in the tourism and travel industry. He has held several executive positions, including the Thomas Cook Shangri-La Fijian Resort and Spa, Fiji Mukambo, Manuda Island Resort and Spa, and Fiji Visitors Bureau, now Tourism Fiji, as Chief Executive Officer. Distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, if I were to highlight everything in the Honorable Acting Prime Minister's statement, it would take us, I think, the whole of the day. But I'll just be brief. Earlier in his career, he was trained in librarianship, and then he went into the banking industry with Citicorp of New York, serving in its Fiji operations. Something that we did not know about the Honorable Acting Prime Minister. He served for 2 years with the territorial forces of the Republic of Fiji military forces. The Honorable Acting Prime Minister was appointed the leader of the SODELPA, leading the party to the 2022 general elections, securing 3 ministerial positions in today's People's Coalition government. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I invite the Honorable Acting Prime Minister to deliver his opening remarks.
The Honorable Deputy Prime Ministers and Cabinet Ministers, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Assistant Ministers and Members of Parliament, the Chairman and members of the Public Service Commission, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Permanent Secretaries and senior government officials, invited dignitaries, civil servants, ladies and gentlemen. Volavina and a very good morning to you all. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land where we now stand. Naitoke ni Tombalewu Suva inandonumai na viangwane na Chihuba. I pay my respect as well as the emerging leaders and members of the Vanua who acknowledge their role in caring for the Vanua. May their strength and wisdom be with us today. Before I proceed further, I would like to take this time on behalf of the nation to congratulate our Fiji women's and men's deaf rugby sevens team after securing the 2025 Pacific Rim Deaf Rugby Sevens Championship titles in Australia. We are inspired by their commitments and zeal to defy the odds and bring victory home. Congratulations. I'm deeply honored and delighted to be here this morning on behalf of the Prime Minister and Minister for Civil Service, the Honorable Viliame Gavoka, to celebrate the 2025 Civil Service Day with you. I thank the Acting Permanent Secretary for the Civil Service, Mr. Samuel Amode, for the very warm welcome and introduction. I also thank the Turangan Italtala for the devotion and timely spiritual intervention. Today, I thank you. I celebrate and I honor your sacrifice. Your commitment fuels and drives national development. Your values shape the character of our public institutions, and your work, without a doubt, is the backbone of our functional democracy. You, our civil servants, day in and day out, serving the nation, often working late into the night, public holidays and weekends, and very often in unfavorable weather conditions, especially for those serving our remote communities in the hard-to-reach interior, rural, and maritime areas. I sincerely hope that the 3% increments will be significant in assisting you to cope with the challenges in carrying out your duties as civil servants, while at the same time assist you to provide for your families. The coalition government is committed to ensuring that civil servants are recognized and acknowledged for their commitment and hard work. I fully support the Prime Minister's statement in Parliament that the Ministry of Civil Service will undertake a review and audit of the current performance-based system to ensure the ministries and departments are integrating staff retention strategies within the operational framework. Your government will continue to provide technical supports and assistance, including training to ministries and departments on matters relating to the open merit recruitment and selection, OMRS guidelines,
to ensure balanced and equitable recruitment of meritorious men and women to join our civil service. The Government Feedback Call Center will establish a robust and effective complaints management system to ensure that timelines are met and feedback provided promptly. The Prime Minister is committed, as the Minister for Civil Service, to ensuring that government is on par with current trends in excellence and service standards. Government is committed to ensure that civil service excellence is maintained. These include reviewing the learning and development guidelines for the civil service to focus more on enhancing career development opportunities that will promote the civil service as a career of choice of our people. The civil service is not for the faint-hearted. It takes sweat, blood, tears, that we are serving at such time as this. But I believe there is no coincidence that we are serving at such times as this, because we are raised to give back and to have a strong sense of national service to our country. This year's theme, Inspire Hope and Resilience in Combating Drugs and Violence Against Women in the Civil Service, could not be more necessary, considering that earlier this week we were raising awareness on the negative impacts of illicit drugs and substance abuse. Fiji is grappling with the impact of these two destructive forces, drug abuse and violence against women. Ability to serve effectively, and therefore limits our nation's ability to grow and develop. Distribute information materials highlighting situations and available support programs, including timely dissemination of new and updated government circulars and government email blast distribution system to reach as part of the strategy and violence against women. I urge you to reach out for help if you are stuck in a cycle of drug abuse. If you are experiencing domestic violence or any form of violence within the workforce, reach out to a colleague or friend if you know they're experiencing these issues. Help is always available, and you are never alone. Drug abuse has recently been prevalent in the country and is negatively impacting the lives of our children and youth. It also compromises the safety and welfare of our communities. Recent studies have shown a positive correlation between the increase in drug abuse, particularly methamphetamine, and other synthetic drugs, and the increase in HIV cases, to sharing needles and other methods of drug transmission widely used amongst users today. As you may witness in the media, the Prime Minister had personally visited a hotspot for drug use in Suva. I also had the opportunity to officiate at the observance of the International Day Against Drugs Abuse and Illicit Trafficking in Suva this week. And like many of you, I am deeply concerned about the grip that drug abuse has on our nation. I agree with the Prime Minister of the need for increased regular police patrol in hotspot areas and see to the security and welfare of the surrounding communities. I echo the sentiments of the Minister of Health that the root cause of drug abuse is the decay of family structure and support, and vice versa. I implore you to prioritize family time. Spend more time with your children in an immediate family. Have healthy and productive concerns and problems, and guide As members of our communities and civil servants, we need to be vigilant in looking after our families, especially our children, who will inherit what good our nation has to offer when they replace us tomorrow. In addition to drug abuse, violence against women is an issue that we need to address today. We lost a civil servant earlier this year, allegedly due to domestic violence. The death of the late Saini Mere Pinasakea, who was an officer with the Ministry of Immigration, is a stark reminder of the effort that still needs to be done to ensure the safety and dignity of all women in Fiji. According to recent statistics, 7 in 10 Fijian women experience physical and or sexual violence by either a partner or non-partner by the time they turn 15. This alarming rate calls for immediate attention and meaningful action. I propose that we start here in the civil service. Let us lead the fight against drugs and violence against women. As I mentioned earlier, the civil service is the backbone of our nation. We are entrusted with the responsibility to serve our people with the highest level of integrity, professionalism, and fairness. However, we must also ensure that our environment is one where every individual, especially women, feel safe, respected, and empowered. This is the underlying principle behind the zero tolerance for gender-based violence in the civil service, as enshrined in the Civil Service Harassment, Discrimination, and Anti-Bullying Policy. Policies exist, but implementation and enforcement must improve. That means better reporting and systems, faster investigations, and protection for those who come forward. I urge supervisors and directors to stop looking the other way when complaints arise. If you're in a leadership role and you fail to act, you are part of the problem. Leadership is not about defending the institution, it's about improving it. We cannot claim to serve the public with integrity while tolerating misconduct within our own ranks. I expect every ministry, agency, and department to review the workplace safety protocols and actively build environments where people are heard, feel safe, supported, and respected. As civil servants, we need to set the standard and model what a drug-free and violence-free Fiji should be. In closing, I thank you again for your sacrifices and ask that you continue serving our people to the best of your abilities, because every one of us has a role to play in building the future towards a drug and violence-free society. And with that, I wish you all a happy Service Day. God bless us and God bless you.
And girls, civil service, let us lead the fight against drugs and violence against women. Have a lot of family time. Spend a lot of family time. And remember, civil service is not a place for faint-hearted. With the Honorable Viliame Gavoka for your words of advice and inspiring words this morning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we now move to the special highlight of today's celebration. That is the presentation of the Customer Service Awards on their service to the people of Fiji. The Customer Service Awards was introduced after the implementation of the Customer Service Guideline across the civil service. The Ministry of Civil Service has been continuously working with other ministries to improve the quality of customer service within ministry through annual assessment and to recognize ministries with awards for excellent customer service. So based on the findings of this year's assessment, the following ministries are recognized in the special categories for their outstanding customer service. For the Best Service Standard 2025, this award, there are two recipients. This award is to recognize the ministries having the best service standards in 2025. And the Best Service Standard 2025 award goes to the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways, and the second recipient, the Ministry of Employment, Productivity and Workplace Relations. We'll ask the representative from the respective ministries, Permanent Secretary, Senior Rep, Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways, congratulations, as well as the Ministry of Employment, Productivity and Workplace Relations, the recipients of the Best Service Standard Award 2025. Yes, it's a celebration. Thank you for making the noise. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations again to the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways, Ministry of Employment, Productivity and Workplace Relations recipients, Best Service Standard 2025. And the Best Service Delivery Award, the next award, the Best Service Delivery Award 2025. And this award is to recognize the ministry having the best customer service delivery through face-to-face, emails, and phone calls. And the Best Service Delivery Award 2025 goes to walking over 2 awards this morning, the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways. Congratulations once again for receiving the Best Service Delivery Award 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the next award is the Most Improved Ministry of 2025. And this award is to recognize the ministry which has shown a significant improvement in customer service from 2024 to 2025. And the award goes to the Ministry of Sugar Industry. Sugar industry with your sugarcane plants, come up and receive your awards. Boys and girls, the next award is called the Customer Service Rising Star. And this award is to recognize the ministry which has shown a continuous progressive trend in customer service throughout the year 2022. Award to of Women, Children and Production. Congratulations to the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection receiving the Customer Service Rising Star Award. Another round of applause for the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection. This next award, ladies and gentlemen, is called the Above and Beyond Efforts Award. And this award is to recognize the ministry efforts in improving the customer service delivery within the ministry. The Above and Beyond Efforts Award 2025 goes to the Ministry of Public Works, Meteorological Services and Transport. Congratulations to the Ministry of Public Works, Meteorological Services and Transport receiving the Above and Beyond Efforts Award 2025. Well, award, which is the Customer Service Excellence Award 2025. The Customer Service Excellence Award second runner-up goes to Ministry of Sugar Industry. Congratulations to the Ministry of Sugar. The second runner-up in the customer service. Runner-up. The first runner-up in this overall order goes to ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. First runner-up goes to and workplace relations. Productivity and workplace relations receiving the first runner-up in the Customer Service Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, excellent order. Can you guess? And the winner goes to the Customer Service Excellence Award winner goes to, can we have the drum rolls again? the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways. Congratulations to the Ministry of Agriculture and Waterways being the winner of the Customer Excellence Service Awards. Pinakasakabaleru, Mr. Honorable Viliame Gavoka for the presentation of awards. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that completes the presentation of awards this morning. To close a formal program, I will now invite the Director of the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection, Ms. Emily Kamogati, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Honorable Ministers, Assistant Ministers, Diplomatic Corps, Permanent Secretaries and Senior Government Officials, ladies and gentlemen. Morning, Noy Mauri and Valavina. It is a great honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks on this special occasion, our Civil Service Day. On behalf of the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Protection, I extend our sincere gratitude to all who made it possible today. Our organizing team, speakers, facilitators, and of course, our civil servants who are here in numbers today. Today is not just a commemoration, it is a celebration of who we are as civil servants, and more importantly, of what we stand for. Civil Service Day reminds us of our collective commitment to serve with integrity, humility, and purpose. It is a time to reflect on our journey, renew our dedication, and reimagine the role we play in shaping a stronger, safer, and more inclusive Fiji. This year's theme, Inspire Hope and Resilience in Combating Drugs and Violence Against Women in the Civil Service, could not be more relevant or urgent. As civil servants, we are not only implementers of policy, we are role models, protectors, and advocates. The fight against drugs and violence against women is not one that belongs to a single ministry, organization, or community. It is a shared responsibility, one that demands unity, courage, and compassion from every level of the civil service. Combating these issues requires more than just policies, it requires culture change, and that begins with us. Let us commit to workplaces where women are safe, respected, and empowered. Let us champion mental health and well-being. Let us educate, intervene, and support. Let us build resilience in our teams and hope in our communities. We are civil servants, and we have the power to lead by example, to inspire hope where there is fear, and build resilience where there is pain. Partners and fellow ministries represented here today, thank you for working this journey with us. Let us be the change that inspires every Fijian in every community that we are in. With those few words, I thank you. Vinakabakali.
Madam, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yes, we've come to the conclusion of our formal program this morning, and I will now going to invite the Chair of the Public Service, Mr. Luke Rakavada, who will to accompany our chief guest for the tour of the booths, and before they'll retire for that, 25 Civil Service Day. Civil Service Day celebration, hip hip!
Hip hip! Hip hip! Kaila! The booths and while we will disperse to our respective tents.